Hi, everyone. Welcome to the podcast where you learn how to create more joy and passion in your marriage. I'm excited to have you here. So today is a day after Yom Kippur. Baruch Hashem, Hashem was moichel us all the sins, and we are clean now, and we are preparing for the holy holiday for Sukkos. And so let's create that holiness. Let's create that happiness and bring that in our home. So I will start off with the Medrash. The Medrash says in Pashas Emor, Perek Lamed, Halacha Zayin, by Yom Rishon, it says in the Torah that the first day of Sukkos, you take the lulav. So the Medrash asks, it's not the first day. The Tezvov is the 15th day of the month. It's not the first day of the month, it's the 15th day of the month. And you call it the first day? How come? So the Mune de Shav, Reb Shia de Sichnen, B'Shem Reb Levi Omer. So these scholars said in the name of Levi, Mushel, they gave an example to understand it. The Medina Shechayevas Lipas, there was a nation that had an obligation to fulfill for the king. The king went to take what they own. When he got in the 10 miles, let's say, it's middle, but let's say miles, he got in the 10 miles of that nation, of that land, of that country, or that state, whatever it was. Yotzi Gedoyle Medina v'Kasiyu. So the leaders of that country went out to praise the king. So what did the king do? He forgave a third of what they owed him. So basically, he forgives them for a third of their obligation because they praised him. When he got in the 5 miles of the country, went out the middle people, like half of the people, and they praised the king. He forgave them another third of the obligation. As soon the king entered that country, the entire, all the people from that country went out, Anusha men, Venusian men, women, Vetaf and children, Vekasiu, and they praised the king. And he forgave them the entire obligation. The king told them, Mada Azel Azel, what was is the past. Menuchel Nuchel Cheshbana. From now on, let's start a new calculation. Kach be'erev Rosh Hashanah, the same way when it was Erev Rosh Hashanah, Gedoyle Hador Mesanam, the big scholars, they fast. And Hashem forgives them a third from their sins. And between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, some individuals fast. And Hashem forgives them another third of their sins. And Yom Kippur, everybody fasts. Anushim the men, Venushim and the woman, Vetaf and the children, and Hashem tells us, Hashem, feel like Hashem is telling you, Mada Azal Azal, what was. Hashem is telling you, from now on, we'll stay, there's a clean slate, and let's start fresh. And from Yom Kippur, these days until Sukkos, Kol Yisrael Oskam mitzvahs. Everybody is busy with the mitzvahs. This person builds his sukkah, his tent. This person is busy with his lulav. And the first day of Sukkot, Kol Yisrael Amdim B'Fnei HaKodesh Baruch Hu. All the Yidden, everybody stands before Hashem, v'lilvayim v'esregayim l'shmoi, and they have the lulav and the esreg for His name, Shel HaKodesh Baruch Hu, for the name of Hashem. V'oimu and Hashem tells them the first day of Sukkot, Marda Azel Azel, when you go in a few days with the lulav and the esreg and you stand from before Hashem, feel like Hashem is telling you what was. That he said it already Yom Kippur, but now he will say it again on the first day of Yom Kippur. From here, let's start from fresh. So the same thing you want to do in your home. You want to start from fresh. You want to know that in the CDC Shiva, you made amends. You forgave your wife. Your wife forgave you. Let's start from fresh. Let's start a new page of joy, passion, love, connection, and everything you desire in your marriage. That's why Moshe tells you should take the first day is the first day. So make sure that is the first day for your joyful marriage. Make sure that this is the day that a new life is possible for you and you can create, and let's create that. So when it comes Yonta, there's the mitzvah deraisa, one of the mitzvahs of being happy. Mitzvah tov paiches in the chinuch. Mitzvah l'smoyach beregulim. There's a mitzvah to be happy in Yontav. L'smoyach beregulim shneimar as a shtayt in Pusik. The Pusik says, ושמחת בחגך. You should be happy in the Yontav, in the holiday. In addition, and the first way of being happy, hurumas b'simcha, that is in this happiness, is that we should bring a shlomim al kapunim b'bayis habchira. When the Beis Hamikdash is built, when we have the temple, we should bring a shlomim there. As it says in Pusik, you should shech a shlomim. And afterwards it says you should be happy in your Yom Tov, in your holiday. And because when we had the temple, we had the shlomim. The Chazal said, women are also obligated to be happy. They are also obligated to bring the shlomim because that makes them happy. Because happiness is also the obligation of being happy in the holiday is also on woman. And they also said, the Chazal, be happy with all kind of happiness. And what's included in all kind of happiness? That's eating meat, and drinking wine, and dressing fresh, new clothing, and give fruits, and candies, for children and for young people and women. And be happy and excited with instruments that's only in the temple. And that simchas bais hashayva, that's the place that, and as Kedas B'Gemura, that the Gemura talks about, and the happiness that was there, that a person that didn't see that happiness didn't see a happiness in their lifetime. So everything that I mentioned is included in the mitzvah, be happy in the holidays. The Chazal said in Masechtas Pesuchim, Chayv Udam is the obligation on the man lesamayach bunav to make happy his children, Ibnai Baisoi, and his household, Beregel, in the holiday. So it's your obligation to bring the happiness for yourself, for your wife, and your children. B'sham Neimer, and the Gemara says there, Tanya, Rabbi Messiah says, while the temple was standing, happiness can only happen. You can only fulfill the obligation of being happy with meat, as it says in the Pusik, you should bring a shlomim, and afterwards you can be happy from that. 3 days, a man can only be happy with wine, as the Pusik says, wine makes happy the heart of a man. Void Amri, and the Chazal also said, the Gemara b'ma with how do you make people happy? Anusha, man, you make happy berulahem with the way they are happy biyayan with wine. Venusha berulahem, a woman with what's made for them, bebegudem noam, with nice clothing. And the Torah warned us to include in the happiness the poor people, Vagaidim, and people who came to us, who are not born Jews, Vachelishim, and the weak people. Shanimer, as the Pusik says, Atu v'goymer, v'halayvi, v'hagaid, v'hayusa, v'hamunu, and the widow, and someone who doesn't have a father, a mother, and the poor people. So, Mishar Shaya Mitzvah, the Chinuch is Mazber, the Chinuch explains what's the reasoning of this mitzvah, of this good deed. What's the purpose? Because a man, he is built that a person needs to be happy from time to time. The same way a person needs to eat, he needs to rest, he needs to sleep, he needs to be happy from time to time. And Hashem, God, wanted to give us credit for us. We are His sheep. And He told us to make the happiness for His name. In order that we should get back, we should be paid schar toiv, goodness in this world and the other world for what we did, because we did what He said. So we have our nature, we need to be happy from time to time. So Hashem wanted us to give schar for this. He wanted us to pay us back for doing it. He told us to do it, and we do His mitzvah. We are happy with Him, so we get olam haba. We get payback for it. Hashem said exactly when these times throughout the year the holiday should be, to remind us of the nisim, of the miracles and all the good that He did to us. And this is also a way of becoming happy. When you remind yourself of all the miracles that Hashem did to you all these years, everything, even what we breathe, what we eat, what we are alive, that we have our wife, that we have our children, in the same way to you, That brings happiness. Because who's rich, who is happy with what he has. So be happy. Be happy with all the goods that Hashem gives you. And also with your wife. Think of all the amazing things your wife does to you. Be happy with that. That's how you create that happiness and that love. This is the time of Sukkos, the time to create the love, create the connection with Hashem and with your wife and with your children with love and happiness. And let's bring that in our family. And these times, Hashem told us to take care of the body with the happiness that the body needs. And it will be a big healing because we will do the happiness for Hashem, for His name, and to remind ourselves of all the goods that He does. Because this thought that we do this for Hashem will keep us in the way to do it, not to overdo it, to do it in the right way of happiness, to make sure that we put our wife and children first. And whoever wants to think about this without trying to say the opposite, will see that there is reasoning in my words. That's what the Chinuch says. Medina mitzvah kasaftum susam lamala. How you do that? I spoke a little bit about that. And the rest is a Masechtas Chagigim, in other places in the Gemara. This mitzvah goes in today's days in the part of being happy, and for the part of the mitzvah of bringing a korban is only when the temple is standing. But the happiness goes on b'chol mokam, in every place, b'chol zman, in any time, for man and woman. And it's the man's obligation to make happy his wife and children. And someone that doesn't do this, and he doesn't make his body happy, he doesn't make his wife and children happy, and the poor people as much money as he has, for the mitzvah, for the good deed of the holiday, he didn't do this good deed. And in this, the Chazal said, try your best, do your best, and you will see that. So, and that's what Hashem wants. With what you have, He wants you to do the right things. He wants you to be happy, and to make yourself happy, make your wife happy, make your children happy, and that's how you become happy. As the world says, happy wife, happy life. You want to become happy? Now it's time. Yom Kippur is over. All the sins are gone. Let's bring that happiness in our home. Let's start that clean slate and bring the happiness to our wife and children, and we will be happy. And have as much time as possible. Give your wife and your children. Don't run to the phone, to the computer, to other stuff. You have time off now in these holidays. Make sure to be happy, to create that happiness by sitting and connecting with your wife and with your children. Go to places. Remember about your wife. Focus on her and create. And you will see you will create a happy family and a happy life. So let's go into the Shulchan Aruch in some Tukki Choptas. The Shulchan Aruch Paskins Lamasa, he says what we need to do, and see Bais. Chayv Udam, a person is obligated liyesumayach, to be happy, v'tuiv layim, and like in a good mood. B'moyed, in the holiday, it's the obligation on him, the ishtoi, and his wife. He's obligated to make his wife happy and a good mood, the vunav, and his kids, and everybody who depends on him. Kaitzad Masamchem, How does he make them happy? And he starts with the aktanim, the small children. First, you need to make them happy, so they're quiet, so your wife can be calm and relaxed, and you can be calm and relaxed. Do you make the children happy? No salam kloyas, you give them candies, vagoism, and nuts. Vanushim, the next you go to the woman. How do you make them happy? Koinulam begudam, you buy them clothing, betachshiten and jewelry, kefima moinoi, as much money as you have. And he's obligated to give to eat, to guide them, to widows, to children that doesn't have parents, with other poor people. Load how much money he has. And in Sif Aleph we had that man is with wine, and the Minhagim says that it's also a mitzvah godit to eat meat, even though the main thing is wine, because we don't have the shlom, we don't have the main happiness. Let's create happiness with what we have as much as we can. And also the Remu says in Sif Aleph, and beyond the Ma'achrin Lovile Basekneses, Yontiv, you come late to the synagogue, and Mamarem loses Mishim Simchas Yontiv, and you go fast out because the happiness on Yontiv. So this Yontiv, remember not to wait and shmooze a lot in this medrash. Make sure to, when you finish praying, go home, be excited to go home, find your wife and make her happy, make your children happy. Focus on spending a lot of time connecting and making them happy. That's how you will create happiness for yourself. So an interesting thing that we see in Shulchan Aruch is that all the halachas that's useh, that's mitter in Yontiv is basically built for happiness, to be busy with happiness, and happiness the entire time, just to focus and create the happiness. As it says in Siv Zayin, Shulchan Aruch Siman Tov Tzaddik Hai, V'lo Asri Dovazeh. So he says that things that's just as good when you bake or cook before the holiday, you're not allowed to cook and bake in the holiday. If it's better fresh, then you're allowed to do it in the holiday, because we want you to be happy. But if it's just as good, you need to do it before the holiday. Why? I'm afraid that a person will keep himself from doing all the things, from preparing all the foods, all the foods that he can do before the holiday. He will wait on the holiday. Because he doesn't do anything, he can't work. He will leave it for the holiday. And what will happen is the entire holiday will go by cooking and baking and doing all this stuff. And you won't have time of being happy. So the happiness is very important. And again, in Sif Ches, the same thing. And that's the reason you're not, Atzua is not Usayantav. You're allowed to bring, and even you were able to bring the thing before Yantav. You're allowed to bring it. Why is it not Use? Why is it allowed? In order to bring more happiness for you, your wife, and your children. You should be able to bring and take whatever you want. And everything you want, you should have. It shouldn't be like your hands are tied. And he goes in and sees that's also the reason. And also this reason, in order you shouldn't be hindering the happiness. The Chachamim said that you can do aksire, vadisha, bewimer, vazriye, bridis minetviye. You can do the cutting the food from the earth, and all these kind of works, because it's the way you do it is you do it once for a lot of days. So all these kinds of things you can do. and he won't have time to be busy with the happiness in the holiday. So from all this, we see how important it is, the happiness for the holiday. So make sure that you create that happiness. You are happy. You're bringing the happiness to you, to yourself, to your wife, to your children. You create memories that they will remember forever. Let's start from fresh this Yom Tov. May Hashem bless you that you should create that happiness for yourself, for your wife, for your children. You should have all your desires should be fulfilled. You should be happy, passionate, enjoyable. You should have the best Yom Tov of your lifetime. And it shall always become more and more enjoyable, more and more happy. And we shall be zoiche to makrev, the shlumim, in this Sukkos. And we should be zoiche to the gile shleima, to the final redemption, quicken our days, oh mine. Don't forget to subscribe so you get the training and how to create happiness, joy in your marriage, passion, how do you create more connection, how you continue to grow in your marriage. Take care, all the best. Hatzlacha Rabbi.